WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm once again in Scotland. Today I have something from the Linkwood distillery and bottled by the independent bottler named the Maltman. The Maltman belong to the Meadowside Blending Company. And that was actually founded here by... His name is here at the bottom of the bottom. That is Donald Hart. Andrew Hart is the son. He's now taken over the business. He actually has 2 children, infants under age of 5, and they might take over the business one day as well. Who knows? Okay, Linkwood I love. I'm a big fan of Linkwood. Now, Linkwood has a capacity of 5.6 million liters of alcohol a year. That's a lot, by the way. Yeah, one of the bigger distilleries. And the only official bottling that we have is a Flora and Fauna, which is 12 years old, which you hardly ever see. And you have from Gordon MacPhail a 15-year-old officialing bottle. That's it. Otherwise, everything else is usually used for blends. And the specific blend would be Johnny Walker. So this is basically the base of the malt part for Johnny Walker. Everything else, Koila and whatever else comes on top is great. But yeah, Linkwood has that nice floral moment. A little bit of marshmallow-ness. And it's very, very malt forward, straight, nice, soft, elegant whiskey. So, 52.1%, 60 euros is what I paid for this. This is cask number 864480. Now, out of this bourbon cask, as it says here on the label, there were 302 bottles. 302 bottles at cask strength times 0.7 liters, which we have, equals 211 liters. That does not fit in a American standard barrel. An American standard barrel, ASB. So this must have been a hogshead. Why don't you write a hogshead on the list? I'm not the only one smart enough or dumb enough to do a little bit of math here. All right, whiskey base 140950. We know that this was actually distilled in July 2007 and bottled in March 2019, making it 11 years old. On the back, we actually have information. It says this single cask from Linkwood Distillery is natural in color and has no chill filtration. Excellent. We actually have tasting notes, which I will read in a moment. If I go over to my nice little whiskey, almost Bible is what I'm going to call it. It's not from Jim Murray, but still it's actually more information than I'll ever need here. It says the original buildings from 1872 left standing are the only the warehouse number 6 and the redundant old kiln with the bodega roof. The setup and equipment now is 1 2.5 ton full lauter mash tun, 11 wooden washbacks, with 3 pairs of still, and the fermentation time during 5-day week production varies between 65 and 105 hours. So production during the last couple of years has varied between 3.6 million and 5.6 million liters of alcohol, depending on having a 5 or 7 day production week. So that is actually a very, very lot. I have actually reviewed the Flora and Fauna 12 on my channel. I was not a great fan of it, but it was okay. And I actually have had the Linkwood 37-year-old special release. I bought a bottle of that a few years ago and did a bottle share with that and also a video with my good friend Tomek from Whiskey Gold here in Germany, which was, I had the expectations if the Linkwood 12 is here and I liked it, then the 37 must be here. And of course it's not, because it's 3 years older, 3 times better. And I was basically here, and I was very, very disappointed because it did cost more than 3 times as much. So moving over here. Oh, this is nice. This is a very nice whiskey. I've done the German video already, and so I know I'm going to give it a B, a solid B. Now the nose has some praline ice cream, tinned pears, and lots of floral notes, and I have to totally agree with everything here. I have never had praline ice cream, but I know what pralines are. I know what ice cream is, so I can put the two together, and I've had something very similar. I've had marzipan ice cream before, which would be something interesting. And the tin pears, and loads and lots of floral notes. And you forget to add the malty vanilla moment on top of that. Cheers. 52.1%, which is just right. Mm. 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 The palate has custard, it says here, with some walnut and marshmallows. I'm not sure about the walnut. Custard, maybe. Marshmallows, yeah. Gooseberries, very light. Yellow plums. White cranberries. Very, very light, fruity moment. A little bit of lychee. Very, very nice. You add a few drops. What happens is the barrel char kicks in a little bit more, which I was not expecting. Yummy. Still a wonderful, wonderful light whiskey. You have the age. You have a little bit of complexity. You have a floral fruit forwardness. This is an excellent, excellent whiskey for its price. I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a C plus for value for money. And I'm going to try to buy another one of these 302 bottles out there. I did a bottle share with this. It's gone. People actually have a good, at least over here in Germany, Maltman has an excellent reputation. And what I would like to do now is I've been doing this almost every second week now since the lockdown, since coronavirus came into our lives since March. Every other week I've been doing now a online blind tasting. I just buy 6 bottles. I fill up the little sample bottles, 3cl, send them out to about 23 different people. I keep one, so 22. Sometimes I buy 2 bottles of each, so it's actually 45 sets. And we have 6 that are blind, and at the end we actually just rank them according to what we think is best. And often we're very, very close. There's always one person that's an outlier. There's something I hate and he loves, and something I love he hates. But that's just the way things are with weird people out there in the world. But 85% of us usually agree more or less on the order. Sometimes it'll be the 1 and 2 are switched, and the 3 and 4 are switched, and the 5 and 6 are switched. But there's usually never a 2 and 6 switched unless you're that one outlier. And what I'd like to do is buy 6 different bottles here of Maltman and do that as well, because I have a feeling that here Mr. Donald Hart and his son Andrew Hart are actually picking out the best casks possible for the whiskey at a fairly reasonable price, at least in my personal opinion. Yeah, cask strength and so on. The finish is warming with some nutmeg and cappuccino. I don't really have the cappuccino, to be honest. Nutmeg I could go with. A little bit of cinnamon I could go with. And at the end, there's a little bit of that wood moment vanilla that comes through. If you ever see a Maltman whiskey, my recommendation at the moment, after having only 2 of their bottles, is buy. Maltman has not disappointed me yet. Let's see what's going to happen in the future. But this is actually something I can highly, highly recommend. So my question of the day is, what other Linkwood bottlings have you seen out there, or actually tasted or bought? I talked about the 37-year-old special release from Diageo a couple of years ago. I talked about the 12-year-old Flora and Fauna. And I have now mentioned the 15-year-old from Gordon MacPhail, which is the quasi-official bottling. What other Linkwood bottlings out there have you had? Oh yes, there's a video on my site here from the North Star Spirits of a Linkwood, which I did not like. And as Ralphie says, especially Linkwood, other, of course, distilleries as well, really live from the wood that this whiskey has lived in, has matured in, has actually become of age in over the last, in this case, 11 years. The barrels are so, so important. And that's why, if Mr. Hart is listening, I would have loved to have seen the phrase hogshead on that instead of just bourbon. Now, that's my personal opinion, but hey, that's what I do. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American here. Thanking you very much. Please like, please subscribe, please tell others. Solid B in my book, value for money, C+, which is fantastic, for a single cask at the price of €60. And please tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting whiskey you'll probably never ever see. Great concept, right? All the best. Bye-bye.